So the folks at Fox News, Ken, contacted us a couple weeks ago and said there's an article in The Hill showing that up to 50% of American families are paying their adult children's bills to a tune of an average of $1,482 a month.
Wow.
And the vast majority, I forget what the number was, no, it's up to 25% of millennials, their parents are paying their housing, meaning they're paying their house payment, their rent, or they're living in their basement. I don't know which. This is, I've never seen it like this. And so I did an op-ed that's on the front page of Fox Web right now and Fox Business Web on this subject, and it blew up. The op-ed blew up. Just like this. I mean, I had a thing on social media last week that got 32 million views. It blew my mind. It blew up. And it was a clip from a couple of years ago of me taking a call from these people that were almost $1 million in debt, and only $200,000 of it was their mortgage. I mean, it was amazing. And I don't know why the thing blew up. It's calls we take here all the time.
That's right.
I really couldn't see anything different in it, but something was special on TikTok, and it just went nuts. So I guess that TikTok generation just had never seen.
They've not seen that.
Seen someone actually know the answer to the question and care deeply about the people on the other side, care enough to tell them the truth.
Yeah.
And we tell them the truth, tell you the truth here. Sometimes you don't like it, but we always tell you the truth. But this thing of parents, you and I have been talking about this a lot in America right now with the labor crisis. We're going to talk about it more on May the 4th with this thing with Mike Rowe that we're doing. And you guys ought to sign up and watch that live stream that we're doing, because this labor crisis is tied into this loss. Mike Rowe at Dirty Jobs and I were talking, this loss of work ethic. We've forgotten how to do hard things.
That's right. Yeah, there's two
Calluses
things.
are a thing of the past.
Yeah. Yeah, there's two things that I think parents have eliminated over the last few decades: hard things and scary things. Hard things where it's not scary, it's just really, really hard. I'll give you an example. My father, first job I got, I was 14. He went and got the job. He knew I needed to work, and he made a couple connections, but he specifically chose a job that he told me years later. He goes, I wanted you to taste really brutally hard work. And I had to go up on a ladder, Dave, for a local painter that he knew, and I had to scrape paint off the side of a house with a propane tank in one hand and a scraper in the other. And, I'm 14, my arms were as big around as strings, and it's painful. It was exhausting work. And he told me, I wanted you to taste hard work. So number one, you could do it. Number two, that you would set your sights on something higher. That's a hard thing. And scary things are allowing kids to fail, to try an instrument, Dave, to maybe try a small business, to try a sport, to do something.
Where they actually keep score.
Yes.
And you don't get a trophy unless you win.
Yeah, well, now that's a whole other issue, is participation.
Well, no, it's part of the problem.
Yes.
It's part of the problem.
So, it's a big issue.
Psychologists call, when you pay your kids' bills, psychologists call that enabling.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the rest of us call it stupid. And you're not helping. You're not helping.
No.
Because the little eagles are not going to soar unless you kick their butt out of the nest. No eagle ever flew with the nest attached.
That's right.
Never happened. So the helicopter parenting, the participation trophies, I don't want my child to ever hear or see or experience anything negative. It's not good for you.
No, we've stunted the growth.
It's not good for you. You need to experience winning.
Yeah.
And winning is not as fun unless you have also failed.
Yeah. Well, you don't appreciate winning until you've lost. The sting of loss is what drives champions. And you're right, Dave. This participation stuff, we've laughed about it for decades, and now it's playing out in the workplace. Here's how it's unrealistic and unmet expectations. This is what it looks like in the workforce right now, and it is these kids have gotten trophies and parties just for showing up.
And you know what's weird is that it's not all of them.
Not all.
So
of them,
they get thrown under the bus, like Gen Z and millennials get thrown under the bus as all being this, and they're not, because I got 400 of them working in the building
That's
here
correct.
that
That's
are
right.
missional. They're hardworking.
Yeah.
They care deeply. They're passionate. They'll charge the gates of hell with a water pistol, man.
Mm-hmm.
But then they got their friend over here who's mommy's helicopter, and the irony of irony. Your 28-year-old son lives in your basement and in an act of sheer irony spends his day playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's
think about the irony of that.
Yes. He doesn't even understand
He doesn't know what duty is, and he's never answered a call.
Yeah.
My God.
And this is what plays into this, Dave, is that now parents feel bad because their kids are struggling. And so now they pay their bills for them. They need to struggle.
We have worked, Michael Easter talks about this in The Comfort Crisis. We have worked very, very hard to be comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've worked even harder to make sure our kids don't experience any pain. And it turns out now the data is in, that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Allow your kids, encourage your kids, force your kids to do hard things and scary things.
That's right.
It is so, stand on your own 2 feet. There is so much dignity in that.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to buy your own bread and pay your own light bill because mommy isn't going to do it, you have become a man, my son. Oh, my gosh. And then we wonder why there's a manhood crisis.
Yeah.
We wonder why there's a stunted growth out there, and, it's society's fault. I'm triggered. Kiss my butt. You're triggered. Get off your tail and go do something.
Yeah.
Triggered.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
See, that's the problem. We create terms like that to describe real emotions that everybody's
I need a safe space.
Yeah.
Ain't one.
No, you don't.
Ain't one.
Yeah.
Heaven. That's it.
Right.
That's a safe space. Until you get there, not going to be safe, Bubba.
And that's the truth. Yeah.
Accept it and get on with it.
Yeah.
I can't have a car that doesn't have 73 airbags. I mean, you're telling this to a generation who used to sleep in the back window while they were driving down the road.
We didn't have bike helmets or elbow pads. You know what it made us? Better bike riders, because if you wrecked, you stuck to the sheets for 6 nights. Those are
gross.
Consequences.
That's gross.
It's gross, Dave, but it hurts. Try pulling the sheet off of your leg.
I know. I got it. Don't do it
Hey,
again.
I've grossed Dave out. This is very exciting, folks. It's a rare moment in the show. Hey, I went farther than Dave. But the point is that here's what happened. It's a marketing message that scared everybody. Marketing started figuring out that if I scare parents, they'll buy more stuff, and then it took hold. And we've got the most scared society
this
ever.
whole thing, it comes from I want good things for my kids. And enablers are always the nicest people.
Right. They don't want their kids to hurt.
They don't want anyone. Whoever it is they're enabling, they don't want them to feel any pain. And the sad thing is, what we're discovering now is that a controlled, reasonable level of pain in order to create growth is the right way. Muscle is not built unless you get sore. How do you get sore? That's called pain.
Working out.
You lift a weight and your muscle gets sore. Lactic acid kicks in, but no muscle is built sitting.
It's true.
It never has happened. And the muscles of our brains, the calluses on our brains, come from persevering through hard things,
that's right,
stressful things, and coming out the other side. And no one's saying, "Oh, here's a safe space. I'm sorry you're triggered."
That's exactly right. Now, what you are is you're prepared.
Yeah.
You're prepared for whatever life throws your way.
It's a toughening.
Because you've come through challenges before. You've done hard things. You've overcome scary things. And now you go, okay, I can take the next hard thing on. I can take the next scary thing on.
Isn't it interesting that throughout history, that to go from adolescence to adulthood, with every culture but ours, there has been some kind of ritualistic rite of passage that involves something hard.
It's a very good point. Yes, absolutely. If you look at...
I'm not saying your kid needs to be put out there in a life or death situation in order to be okay. I'm just saying maybe they should sweat once.
At least think there's a bear that's going to get them.
At least you should... you should have a callus from having persevered through a loss and turned it into a win.
Yeah.
And moms and dads and America, doing this for people you love is an act of love. It's not a big old meanie. As a matter of fact, enabling is quite the opposite of loving.